Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with charlierivermanbergeron. As always, it's a joy and a pleasure for me to be here speaking to all of you who are moving through your own energetic experiences as we evolve into the truth of who we really are, have always been, but have been held back, or for lack of better words, not able to access the truth of who we truly are, for whatever reasons. Good morning, Anita. I see you there, 17 people on the sideline or where it says live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love you all. Thank you. It's really an honor for me to be here and talk on humanity healing. And I thank you, Leonie, for the opportunity you've provided for me. I believe this is like my 96th talk on humanity healing. And I never, ever planned to do this. This was just an amazing gift of the universe and hearts that are open to hear something different. Gemma, Joni, Hakeem, good morning. So today's talk arose really this morning. Gratitude and inner peace. And those were the first words I wrote down this morning, were gratitude, inner peace for all. And I didn't put that in the title, for all, because that was sort of understood for me. It's all about all of us. There is really no point in doing anything anymore if it isn't for all of us. And so as each of you go through your journeys and your trials, your tribulations, what you're moving through, letting go of and experiencing, I want you to know that you are not only doing it for yourself, you are doing it for, to use the term, the good of the whole. That we've really never been separated except by illusions and people who wanted to control us. And that's where my show notes began this morning as I started listening and flowing, allowing the words to come through. Thank you for the congratulations. Again, it's not about the ego. It's about being able to present you with everything that comes through me. So the first words I wrote were, humans have created a world of fear in order to control large groups of people from a distance. Nothing new to any of us. We understand that. And it was not the creator of humans who did that. It was humans themselves. And we are part of that human tribe, and always will be until we leave this plane and move back into another form of our beingness. So in order to return to our more natural state, which is a collective consciousness, we need to seek and embrace gratitude and inner peace. That's a big challenge in these days. As I awoke this morning, my beloved, who watches television to my horrors, was listening to, filling the room and the space with hurricanes and turmoil and all of this chaos. And I don't tune into that anymore, other than to watch it from a distance and send my light and love to help correct or ease the pain and suffering of others. But this is what all of this disturbance and distortion, all of what fear has done to us, has allowed us to not be in a place of gratitude and inner peace. The words I wrote, I believe it is my divine purpose to cast out fear so that I may live in balance and harmony, was something that came to me to say to each of you. And what I want you to do is just we'll take a few moments right now and to take a deep breath, a slow breath in, a slow breath out. And I want you to come to a place of stillness as much as you can in any given moment during these amazing times we're going through. But I wanted to introduce this simple thought that came from my guides through me. It is my divine purpose to cast out fear so that I may live in balance and harmony. So let's just take an inhale, a deep inhale, relaxing as we exhale, knowing that in that process, we are unifying all of the cells in our body, that we are embracing the totality of who we are. Take another breath. Slowly, relaxingly, embracing who you really are in this open heart space. And what I want you to do is just say it along with me, if you can read it in the sideline, but just follow my voice. It is my divine purpose to cast out fear so that I may live in balance and harmony. It is my divine purpose to cast out fear so that I may live in balance and harmony. Allow that to rest in your heart. And please jot it down. When things get rough, come to that statement. It is my divine purpose to cast out fear so that I may live in balance and harmony. It's important for each of us now to really be seen and heard from this deeper heart space. And it's the fear around us and the fear that's being brought up within us that actually challenges us to stand and be heard and be seen. Many of us are experiencing some kind of awakening on some level, especially those of you who are following Humanity Healing, listening to my talks, and realize that awakening is not going to happen overnight. It could. It's not going to be as painful as we think it is, although sometimes it can bring up pain, but that's so that we can release it. And it's not going to make a lot of people in our lives really want to run out and embrace us, which sounds very strange, but you'll notice in your own family, with your friends, your loved ones may not completely understand you anymore. They will look at you, or they'll not want to hear what you have to say. They'll not, some of them will actually reject you and create a disturbance to try to snap you out of this evolutionary process. And so your everyday relationships can become more challenging. This is why we need to anchor gratitude and inner peace into our beingness. And I know for many of you, there are different paths and different ways to do this. I urge you to continue to seek what resonates with you. If what I say doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. There are many people now who are really just trying to bring us to this place of wholeness and allow the gratitude and inner peace to flow without restriction. And when that occurs, balance and harmony automatically comes in. So basically what's happened for all of us is we've lost the memory of what it feels like. Every day we wake up to a world where we have news and everybody telling us, you got to do this, this is no good, this is bad, this thing's happening, this crisis and all of these. It's not going to stop all of that. But the continual bombardment of this information keeps us in a state of constant fear. We're so used to being in a state of constant fear that we don't even recognize it anymore. And this is what happens when we start to explore and tap into our divine self, is that we start to recognize the many different forms that fear is being used to control us and keep us separated, not only from each other, but from our divine source of creation. And it's our responsibility now to change that. And we can change it without having to go the route that I did. And even though I died 27 years ago and came back, it's still unfolding. It didn't automatically go poof. Yeah, you know, all of this just washes away. But what it does is, in all of us, there will be some sort of dying process, a death to patterns, a death to concepts that we thought were real, a death to things that no longer serve us. They may have been fine 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but they no longer fit. It's like outgrowing ourselves. It's like, you know, you grow out of your clothes. It's a similar process, but it's within us. It's all within us. And if there's anything I can say to you is to remember that there's nothing wrong with you, other than you're seeking your true self, which naturally dwells in a state of gratitude and inner peace. As I say, I say that from my own death experience, which 27 years ago, I had no form and I had no body, only an awareness. I looked down on my body as I left. Similar story to many what we call NDEers. I don't like that word. I was told to stay away from everybody that was studying that in the beginning, and I have. I was to experience it, not hear what other people had to say. Now I can hear other people's stories and know what my story truly was without being influenced by that. And this too is what you're going through. You're going through, it's almost like a near-death experience on many levels. And I want you to feel it. I want you to understand that this is really not the end of anything, but the beginning of something. My first awareness was light. As I said, there was only awareness. There was no physicality. There was nothing around me. The second was love. The third was peace. Out of which, as I returned into this body, gratitude for life and being a human became my most precious gift. Every day when I wake up, I look around, I see where I am. I say thank you. I am truly grateful to be here. And in that moment, when we shift from a state of fear of what's going to happen to me today, and say, wow, I'm here. Everything is possible. If I can only keep myself centered and balanced in a state of peace and gratitude. As you know, the world around us has other plans. And so we move in and out of that. But I want to make it your purpose. As I said in the beginning, it is my divine purpose to cast out fear so that I may live in balance and harmony. Because that's the key to this. The only obstruction we have is fear. Doesn't matter what form it comes in. It doesn't matter how much, how intense, or how subtle it is. Fear is an energy that is natural for our physical survival, but it was never meant to control our evolution. And if you look around through history, it's certainly done an amazing job. So it's become a tool for those who want power and want to control others. And we've been severely wounded, and we're now in the process of healing ourselves beyond our human understanding. We're amazing beings, and there are no words that can truly describe it in our language. Perhaps in the future, we will be able to create an ability to explain it to each other. So right now, I want you to just feel that. Feel how precious you are. Take a look around the world, or this planet Earth is such an amazing place. We are gifted with the ability to dwell on this planet. And what's happened is, because of these control issues and fear, we've just literally wasted away not only our rights to be here, but our sustainability here. I'm not trying to preach to you, but it's our sustainability that's being now threatened. And that's where we have to come back to gratitude and inner peace in order to correct this imbalance. Fear destroys us. It does. Balance, being balanced is the key. Yes. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Because together, we are all the children of God, however you so interpret that. We've never been separated except by concepts and ideas on people who wanted us, some well-meaning, to stay cohesive. But we've not become cohesive. We've become very dissonant, and we now have to come back into this place of co-creation. And in order to co-create, we have to have an open heart, and we have to be grateful, non-judgmental, we have to be at peace within ourselves. Don't get me wrong. I get upset with other people just like everybody else does. But in that moment of upsettedness, I'm now becoming aware of my upsettedness and saying, I can choose something else. So what is it that's happening that's triggering me? Because it isn't out there. It's something that's happened to me. And now I'm understanding it may have happened to my ancestors. And it's now becoming my responsibility to forgive them and to release it for them, wherever they are, whatever they are. And know that their pain and suffering is asking for release as well. So this morning, as well as I always pull cards. Goodbye, fear. Thank you. And Anina, I have divine inner peace and it's expanding. And that's a perfect answer. It does expand. The more we embrace it and can tap into it, even if it's just the saying of a mustard seed, it will expand. It's like a seed we plant. And once we plant that seed, it expands, the plant grows. So it's just a matter of watering, nurturing, and seeking to bring that forth in our lives, inner peace. So, as you know, I pull cards every morning and do with some interesting ones that came up. The first thing that happened was last night before I went to bed, I posted what I call these memes. They're messages that come through. So I would say I was early this morning, it was probably around midnight. And the message was, let us deepen into our amazingness as we flow within the rising love of our opened hearts. So that was the prelude to this morning. Let us deepen into our amazingness. We are really amazing. Flow with the rising love of our open hearts. Not easy, but can be done. I have a truck going by now. We'll just halt for a second. Okay, till that passes. So the next thing I pulled this morning was actually up in a book to a page, and it's the first book of Israel. And these words came out. One day, all worldly desire, all criticisms, all judgments will dissolve in wisdom's strong light, and all life's upwelling springs will be renewed. And when I read that, I said, where are the upwelling springs? Each one of us are an upwelling. We're 99% water on a molecular level. We are the springs that will be renewed. In this time, many glorious visions will greet your sight. Love will, in all her beauty, once more repeat her sacred vows, and truth will smile on you. Azrael, who is an angel. I pulled Life Cards, which is my new deck from Susan Collins, and they're just these cute little cards here. And they have two messages on them. And today's messages were accept, resist. So it gives you polar opposites of the card. And basically this card aligns with our root chakra or physical survival. Interesting. We're talking about gratitude and inner peace, which is our higher self, while still being embodied in this physicality. And so the message of this card was, things come into our lives and they can enhance or disrupt our paths. Think about what is useful now and sidestep or ignore the distractions. So here we are. Let's sidestep them, move around them, avoid them at all cost. Not because they're wrong or bad, but because we no longer need to play with them anymore. We no longer need to try to understand them anymore. Just look at them as a rock in the road you have to move around or climb over, or a gate a fence you have to hop over, or just move around it. It's when we engage fear and when we engage conflict that we actually join our energetic field with it, and we diminish ourselves. This past week, I encountered a bobcat in the woods while doing a water blessing. And it was amazing how you can put aside fear and realize in that moment, that animal smells fear, senses fear. If that animal senses fear in me, I could be its lunch. And in that moment, you realize that, okay, I can do this. And I did, and fortunately, nothing occurred. But here again is coming to face with our fears and knowing that we can choose not to indulge them. I know you love these cards. I'm going to want to make sure I get this one up so you can see it. So this one is called Gifts of the Spirit. Now, when I saw this, the first thing I saw was an embryo. Now, there's a galaxy, it's called the Antenna Galaxies, merging pair of galaxies. So if you think of an embryo, what is that? It's a mass. You've got chromosomes merging. This is the whole thing. This is galactic genetics in my world. And the card reads, Gifts of the Spirit. And the message for that is, I live in harmony and love. Isn't that beautiful? I live in harmony and love. And an affirmation for that is, I open my life to the all-powerful. How perfect for what we're talking about. How do we overcome fear? Is we open our lives, we open our hearts to the all-powerful, however you see that. Whatever religion you practice, whatever teachings you practice, honor them. Honor them, because each one of them is a pathway. Not all of us are going to be on the same pathway of teaching, but we're all on the same pathway of opening our hearts and placing fear aside so that we can shine as the beautiful light we are. My last card was Soul Inspirations card by Kalia, my friend Mia, who creates these. And this reads as follows. Devoted to the path, I walk between worlds. I nurture my fragility, as I know my ability to see through the veil. I hold on to the vision. I am on a mission up towards the light. I shall revolve, for my soul is here to evolve. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for showing up, for listening, for tuning in, knowing that you're not alone in this process, that each of you are experiencing it uniquely, because we are unique. But our uniqueness is not separation. Our uniqueness is really embracing a part of the whole that each one of us represent individually. And it's our collective evolution and our collective resistance to fear that is really what's taking place right now. And as many of us do this, we'll see the outside fear ramp up and increase. Because what's happening is in the world, those who have chosen to be controllers of others sense their loss of power. And for them, that's their whole world. They don't have any inner faith. They have illusions that they've created that they hold up as their God or as their creator or whatever their deity may be or whatever they want. They've lost touch with who they really are. And we could only love them from a distance because their distortion is so painful that each of us now are feeling it, whether we're aware of it or not. So gratitude and inner peace are the keys that I represent today and ask you to tap into, to find new ways to embrace that in your own lives and know that it's not going to happen overnight, but every day that we find something where the fear has, I'm going to use the word bitten us, know that we can heal that wound, send that place where the fear came from some light and love, and ask for it to be forgiven and be released from its pain and suffering. Because it's only acting out of fear because it can't remember who it really is. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. Y'all have a beautiful week, embracing the love that you are and sharing it with others. Keep that heart open. Blessings of peace, light, and love be with you. Thank you. And we'll see you next week or wherever we may meet in this amazing world of communication. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.